What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Hitbox European Championship here on the Pro Dota English channel, brought to you, of course, by Alpha Draft, SteelSeries, and esportgaming.com. Be sure to check them out and draft, bet, and buy mice and headsets and all that good stuff. This is going to be best of three between Alternate Attacks and Aspera. Aspera drawing this one out really late. That's why we're starting 20 minutes past schedule. That's why they don't have any more reserve time. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by Kefka for this best of three. Dude, you probably know a lot more than I do. How much does this actually matter?
It matters a lot. Losing all your reserve time, that's painful. Like, you can't think about these picks. Like, in the fifth pick, like, you can't think about it. You don't have any time. You just have to pick. And that's the difference between winning the draft and losing it. Like, it's a big thing for these teams.
Well, that's what happens when you come a little bit late to the party. You end up losing a lot of your reserve time. So, I think just in that in of itself, many people should favor alternate attacks, at least for this game one. In the best of three, things might get a little bit different, but hey, alternate attacks have so much more time and space to plan their picks. But Anti-Mage is the second pick after Bounty Hunter. They all have all the time in the world in theory, but I'm not really too sure how much I like this secondary pick.
It's a very early Anti-Mage pick, but it's understandable. Anti-Mage is one of the better carries when facing a Darkseer. Darkseer is a pest to a lot of carries, but Anti-Mage tends to deal with him relatively well, and it's probably gonna get banned if they don't pick it in this phase now. So it's understandable to pick it, but it's still like you show your carry this early. Anti-Mage as well, which takes a long time before he really comes online. Needs not only Battle Fury but probably Vlads and Manta before he really can start fighting. So like you show a lot of your cards early, watch how you plan, and Aspera can maybe counter it, but they don't have a lot of time to think about it, so maybe it's a reason why they picked Anti-Mage.
I really like the Spirit Breaker ban out here from alternate attacks. Able to punish a bounty hunter who just wants to track people. You just charge him as soon as you see him, and Anti-Mage is not really going to be one to resist all those bashes. Anti-Mage is essentially a ban of a Storm Spirit from Aspera. You really don't want to be grabbing Storm Spirit. That's 3 anti-heroes against Anti-Mage, and Storm just gets eaten alive by the Mana Void. But Storm Spirit would also be a reasonable counter to this bounty. Aspera need more crowd control effects right now. They really just need to get more lockdown for this Anti-Mage, and that's the downside of picking up an Anti-Mage so early. You will tend to be up against a lot more in the way of stuns and silences and whatnot. But Winter Wyvern is the opening support for Aspera. It's a pretty strong start to deal with Anti-Mage, but they really need someone else to really lock him down. Night Stalker would have been a decent one.
Yeah, it's very surprising that they banned Lina themselves though, Aspera, since Lina is an amazing counter to Anti-Mage. When you get a Laguna Blade, you just one-shot Anti-Mage unless he has Heart. So a bit surprising they banned it, but they might have something else in mind. They're gonna ban the Storm Spirit as well themselves. They don't want to let alternate attacks have that one. They're gonna pick Luna as the carry. Interesting. Might be a pushing lineup with this. Luna is very strong at pushing, and Darkseid can get that early mech, and you can just start going and take towers.
Yeah, so it is going to be Aspera picking their carry up a little bit earlier as well, but Luna definitely is a little bit more niche than Anti-Mage, who's just, general late game strength. Luna is a little bit more so into that early game stage. Usually you want to deal with the Anti-Mage by getting a whole lot of CC and trying to pressure him early. Trying to end the game early with the Luna push is also something that you can do. Eclipse, not the best tool versus an Anti-Mage with that spell shield, but just Luna as a siege engine, just having Aspera, as you said, with the mechanism on the Darkseer, may be able to just crush through alternate attacks really, really quickly, and alternate attacks, they grab a Tusk as their third.
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of scary for Aspera early game. A Tusk Bounty Hunter that can roam pretty much anywhere. Tusk can rotate out if he's laning very early. If he's offlane, he's level 2. He can already, at that point, smoke mid, and with a Bounty as well, you can put a lot of pressure. And also the safe lane is also in a lot of trouble with this kind of a combo. And Luna is not the strongest laner. She has quite a lot of damage in terms of her nuke, but she's quite squishy and doesn't have the longest range, can't stand so far, very far back, so she's in a bit of a trouble in that regard. But Skywrath gonna be picked up by Aspera. I think Aspera is one of the teams that like Skywrath more than most, even though he's been falling off favor quite a lot.
Yeah, we see teams like pretty much oscillating between grabbing Skywrath Mage all the time and just letting him through without banning him or anything like that. It is worth noting that alternate attacks have so far picked 3 melee heroes. And, well, Winter Wyvern is going to be completely okay with that. Splinter Blast is going to be a lot easier to land, and the Curse, if you can curse up someone near an Anti-Mage, Anti-Mage can just tear into his allies. Darkseer and Luna all are really good up against melees. I thought Aspera were going to be considering a Shaker just to get extra melee punishment there, but alternate attacks need to get some range. They need some lane control. It's going to be a Bane for them. So who's supporting here? Is it Bounty Hunter off lane, Tusk off lane?
I think it's going to be Bounty support and Tusk offlane. It's most likely, but a lot of teams, some teams prefer to run the Bounty offlane, just because you can throw a bit of a, like, you can confuse the opponents. Suddenly there's a Bounty offlane and your laning has completely, you haven't thought about it at all, and you're like, okay, now we're just lost laning phase because we didn't think about it. Some teams like to do that, but most likely it's going to be Tusk offlane and Bounty roaming.
Well, what do you think about this Bane pickup? Usually you want to have some sort of way to capitalize off of a Nightmare setup. The minus damage on a hero like Luna might be relevant later on, but Bane seems like a kind of mediocre hero if you have the option still of picking up someone like a Rubik or a Shaker. Or maybe not Shaker, but Rubik.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused with that pick. I needed the teams touch Earthshaker, and I think both were really like it, so that's a bit surprising as well. But the Bane is, I don't think it fits that well with neither their lineup or against opponents, but it's still a early BKB lockdown, and Luna can rush that BKB if they're gonna push. He can just go first item BKB after Drums or Aquila, and then you have something to go through that, and you can just keep her locked down. That's probably the idea. But it's kind of an awkward pick, I think. I'm not sure if it just might be a comfort hero for them, that they feel very confident in this hero. He's very strong in laning phase. He can also rotate very early, has a lot of damage already at level 3. Is probably a complete pick, most likely.
Well, right now, both sides should be looking for their mid lane. And unfortunately for Aspera, they have the first pick, so whatever they grab, alternate attacks will have a little bit of extra time to counter it. A hero, they really do want to get a little bit more of an early game fighter to combo with this Luna. I was just about to say Templar Assassin, and no, I'm not just kidding about that. TA and Luna, that's a lot of damage, and Templar Assassin really does like to fight early on, but it is now pretty clear, pretty obvious that alternate attacks are going to try their best to make this Templar Assassin's life a little bit difficult. Maybe even have the Bane camp in the mid lane for a little bit for some enfeeble or just some right-click harassment.
Yeah, it could be a nice start, but they have a lot of options here, alternate attacks in their mid laner. They could be doing some fun Orthodox as well. There's not a lot of mid laners left. Most of them have been banned out. Quop, Shadowfiend, Dragonite banned out, Leshak, Lina, Storm, and Windrunner. All the normal ones are banned out, and now the TA was picked by Aspera. I don't know how many options there are remaining for alternate attacks. I can't really think of one here that would fit as well. Razor is okay, but it suits okay, but it's a really hard thing for them to pick overall. Like, they have to have a hero that they are comfortable as well, and Razor is not a hero everyone picks. Emery was probably one of the best options left. He can still do okay against Templar Assassin.
Yeah, trading hits is going to be a little bit sketchy when you're going up against the offensive charges of the Refraction, but Ember Spirits with, maybe a Bane rotating in, maybe a Tusk rotating in, definitely has a pretty decent shot at actually getting kills on the TA, and TA just has the physical damage. We'll maybe get a little bit of help from the Scarith Mage, Wyvern as well, so it's definitely going to be a dangerous mid lane for both of these two teams. It's really going to come down to technical skill. Like, they have to trade hits. Templar Assassin has to use her slightly larger range, has to try to stick in the creep wave and hope that she doesn't get hit with those chains, and if she can do all that, then maybe it's going to be a little bit easier game for Undershock. Otherwise, it should be the Ember Spirit to slowly but surely pull ahead. Just the ability to not worry about the refraction charges or the defensive charges is something that the Templar Assassin really is not really accustomed to.
No. Ember at level 6 is incredibly strong as TA. The triple remnant burst after you taking away the refraction is insanely strong. You can actually get a solo kill that way.
Alright, so let's see who's able to take this game 1. Aspera with a pretty good draft considering they don't have a lot of time to make it. They're going to put Afterlife on his Darkseer, plays that one all the time, as does Undershock on the TA. Got Arzeek playing the Winter Wyvern. No Fear is going up towards the top lane as the Scarith Mage is going to be joining the Apathy's Luna in an offensive tri-lane.
Yeah, on ATN sides we have Dimitri on the Bane. Last time I saw him play, he played an amazing Earthshaker. He flamed me on pub though, so I'm not sharing for him. Exotic there on the AM, he's been impressing me as well quite a lot. Nisha on the Bounty Hunter here is gonna be roaming, it looks like. Supreme playing the Ember mid, and then lastly we have I'm not sure who that is. I think Sasu was the one before I saw them playing, but I'm not sure if it is. He's playing offlane, and Sasu was the offlane road, so I'm gonna assume it's Sasu or a stand-in.
It is just a random question marks. Not exactly a helpful name, but it might be Sasu. The icon doesn't look super familiar, although that is one messed up Squirtle. Not really sure what that head is, but it shouldn't be on that Pokemon, man. That's just wrong. It is going to be just an even 1-1 bounty split, and Tusk is, they said, going to be going down towards the off lane, going up against a Darkseer. Maybe. No, we're actually going to have a lane swap. Anti-Mage is going to go down here with the Bane as well. No, Anti-Mage versus Darkseer, just 1 versus 1 isn't that terrible for the Anti-Mage.
No, Anti-Mage is one of the best one-on-one heroes against Darkseer. He deals with Iron Shell quite well. He can also go very aggressive and drain on all the mana, so he can't Iron Shell. And Darkseer can't go up and lost it very well because of that. It's a very nice matchup actually, but he should have some help with the Baron Root again. You don't really want to have 1 versus 1 lane when you're AM.
Templar Assassin doesn't have any detection over in the mid lane, so Bounty Hunter already starting to poke at her, but we do see kind of slow bottle builds coming out from both of these two mid laners. Poor Man's Shield, the Wraith Band picked up by the TA, and we'll see who's able to get a little bit of a lead there, but yeah, Anti-Mage and Bane should be more than enough to poke and prod at Afterlife, but it's a Darkseer. Darkseers always find their farm, or will usually find their farm. Not the top lane is going to be right now abandoned by this Tusk, and well, it's going to be a pretty easy lane for the Luna to get levels, get farm.
Yeah, it's very nice laning from Aspera. I thought their Skywrath pick didn't really fit, but in this way it's kind of nice. You put a lot of pressure early. I was thinking with the Darkseer and the Luna they would push early, and the Skywrath pick really felt out of place. But this way they shut down laning phase hard. Is probably their plan at least. Because Skywrath is very strong in laning, and then with Luna they can do a lot, and they could take control of early game and just take all the towers after that with the advantage they have. They have a very strong lineup to, if they get ahead early game, they can take every tower, I think, pretty easily.
Well, no fear is going to get poked at by Nisha. The downside of the Skywrath Mage is, of course, he has 0 armor. He does a lot of damage, especially when he's near that Luna for a little bit of extra right click, but he's going to get poked by the Bounty Hunter pretty much 24/7. Arzeek and Dimitri in a little bit of tussle right now, but here comes Nisha. Arzeek has to fly up to the high ground. Again, he'll go up to the high ground and then probably just get stuck here. It's a little bit of an awkward place to be, but I don't think they could actually hit him.
Oh,
no, here comes Nisha. He's going to dig in. Arzeek, gotta run, man. Dig faster. He doesn't have enough tangos. He's going to die to the Bane. Brain sap for first blood.
Yeah, this is not the start Aspera wanted. They really relying on this early game to go well for them. They don't want to go late game against AM and Ember. The split push will be too much, and they only have team fight in Aspera, I think. I don't think they can deal with ATN's lineup in late game very well. They rely on their team fight so heavily.
Well, the early game of Aspera, or the early mid-game, like, pushing phase is strong enough so that even though they may lose a couple of heroes, they still be able to brute force something. But Nisha... Oh, did he see the courier? I think he did. He's going to go for intercept, and he should be right on target. Oh, got it. That's a bottle down the tubes. Ember Spirit, he has his bottle coming out, and that one's not going to get sniped. It is 3 minutes, but the snipe, did it happen right before that 3-minute mark? It might have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just before. It was very unfortunate. Maybe some inexperience. Oh, Arzeek is going for this. What? He just wasted a dust. That's kind of costly. Mm-hmm. Oh, and with the death earlier as well. That's kind of significant. But Nisha has been playing amazing already. Got in first blood, and I think Bane picked it up, but he was the one that got it pretty much. He was the one that realized that he could dig in there and get the kill, and then sniping the courier. This is huge for ATN. He secured the early game almost. They could have been looking really bad, but now it's looking pretty okay. The mid lane should be pretty easy for Ember now.
Well, the Ember still has a little bit of ground to make up for. He has his bottle, yes, and that's really nice for the Templar Assassin, but TA, naturally, just with the Wraith Band, is hitting pretty hard, and Hero has just inherently less base damage, and therefore he's behind in CS. He will eventually be able to recover since the bottle swing difference is, just that substantial, but Alternate do have a little bit of ground to actually make up for. Anti-Mage is still getting a lot of farm down towards bottom lane. Ember Spirit's getting out last hit in the mid lane, and top lane, well, Tusk isn't really going to be able to do that much up against this powerhouse in the Luna, but here we go. Bane, he's going to go look towards the top lane. Arzeek going to take to the skies, but that's going to run out, and he's only level 2 right now, so he doesn't really have that much else. They're going to silence the Bane, put a couple of bolts into him, but the snowball in the meantime is going towards the Apathy. With the beam onto Nisha, It's just damage traded. Another dust from Arzeek. That's a lot of commitment. This Satchel of Dust has done absolutely nothing. They can't get this bounty hunter. Will they be able to? No. Shards will trap in No Fear, and yeah, Nisha is gonna get away. That's no more dust.
Yeah, they could have almost killed this guy right there. I was a bit hesitant though. But 2 wasted dust and he already died once. This is looking kind of bad for the Winter Wyvern in the laning phase at least. It's been pretty hard for him. He doesn't really know what he can do. This aggressive tri-lane, it's good, but he doesn't really contribute anything. They can't kill the Tusker really reliable at all. They have to find bounty or secure the other lanes, but he's not succeeding with the bounty. And it's kind of, the other lanes are not going as well as they could be doing because of it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the only way you kill the bounty hunter at this point is if you use that 1 sentry ward that Arzeek placed earlier. Unfortunately, got dewarded. Bounty hunter was onto him and he just went in and chopped it down, so it is now a little bit of extra free space for this bounty hunter to move around and over towards mid. Undershock in a little trouble, got chained to the floor. Here comes the brain sap. Undershock's gonna put up a fraction right before it lands. That is kind of lucky, actually. Now into Hero, they're gonna try to go. The Ember Shield will hold, and he'll bottle up, and he should be just fine. Man, that was very narrow timing from Undershock.
Top lane, you're just getting initiated on.
Yeah, Apathy is going to turn around for a beam. Here comes a Splinter Blast. Suddenly it's the Tusken in more trouble, and it will be the Winter Wyvern to draw that kill. Nisha cannot kill off of level 5 Luna as a level 3 bounty. And that Snowball, not exactly what alternate we're looking for.
No, mistake from the Tusk going there. Should have realized he didn't have mana for ice shards, or he already used them, I'm not sure. But it caused a kill for them. They gave it, I think Luna, did she get it? No, Winter Wyvern got it, so... Fortunately for them, Luna didn't get that extra gold that she kind of needs, I think, in this time of a game. Bane, though, kind of fast against this Darkseer.
He just runs out of haste.
He has Mana Void.
Yeah, but Afterlife has pretty much full mana. They're going to wait a little while longer. Mana Void's going to do nothing. Anti-Mage needs another blink, but no, they can't quite do it. Yeah, Darkseer wasn't really spamming out the Ion Shells. They normally do, but... keeping yourself at high mana versus Anti-Mage, that's important. Undershock, though, going to get netted to the ground over in mid. Here comes the jump in. He puts up the shield, but it's going to get burned through very quickly. In fact, he will burn in total. That's 1 kill down. Dimitri's also going to make his arrival known. Brain Zap onto No Fear. But this Templar Assassin, man, she cannot rely on just the shield to escape the Ember Spirit. She can't win against that.
Ember Spirit gets very strong at level 6 to go aggressive on the T. The reason they didn't get the kill on Darkseer was because Bane didn't have mana for Brain Zap. Otherwise, they would have gotten it for sure. So it was a bit of a lucky for Darkseer there, but he's farming very well. Highest in Lost Hit. The net worth is not highest because it's a lot of jungle creeps, but he's still doing very okay for himself.
They're gonna find Nisha down on the bottom lane. Double sentries being deployed. You better get this kill for that, and they will. It's gonna give him a little bit of a net gain of gold, but Apathy getting crucially up to his level 6 mark, and every single level you get as Luna is pretty important when you are looking to just use her as a siege engine. However, over towards mid, Hero is gonna land very long chains. Here comes the Bane. Nightmare and Brain Zap both available. Undershock gonna throw another trap, and here comes Afterlife, only with level 1 vacuum, but they silence up Hero. Looking for that vac, will be dodged by the Nightmare, at least the damage will. Now he gets to jump out. He will be A-okay. Wall was also deployed there. Didn't really do a ton. It's just a 0 for 0 over in the mid lane. Undershock always getting in these fights, but slowly but surely I think the Ember Spirit, first of all, has caught up, and if it keeps going like this, he will eventually pull ahead.
Yeah, and the AM is actually second in net worth now, even though he had a relatively tough lane against Darkseer. It's an okay lane for him, but it's still, Darkseer is gonna outfarm him in general, because he can go jungle, he actually passed now. But it's looking pretty good for ATN. I thought their laning was a bit weaker than Aspera, and Aspera kind of wants to go and take some towers, but ATN is doing very well for themselves.
Snowball into Undershock, however, Refraction eats all of that. The wall dissipates, that means they can go straight for Tusk. He's going to get Nightmared, but yeah, that's not going to last very long. That's 1 kill. Here comes Ember Spirit, though. 2-man chains. They're going to go for the Templar Assassin. Brain Sap will get 1 kill, and the shield is still ticking. No Fear, slowly roasting down to the shield. Ember Spirit has another jump in. Sleight of Fist, not quite enough. He'll only get the 1 kill in exchange for the Tusk. That's still a pretty good trade for alternate, especially since it's Ember Spirit to be getting all of this value. Nisha also involved, got the experience from that, and is now sitting at level 5.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for ATN actually. I'm really impressed by how they played this early game, especially Nisha on the Bounty Hunter. Only died once and has forced out 2 dust without dying, and also secured a kill, and now here in the mid lane as well. So he's being a key factor in their early game here.
And the Aspera, aggressive style of draft hasn't really kicked into gear yet. All these have been like kind of smaller scale engagements, but the more that alternate takes, the more that they could try to delay Aspera's levels, their items, even if it's just by a little bit, then the longer their towers are going to survive, which means the less gold Aspera are going to get a lot sooner. So alternate, as you said, are doing the right thing and trying to draw these fights. Nisha, though, is going to get hit with the dust. This one will result in the kill, and here comes a snowball right onto Undershock. He's going to bottle up a little bit more. Shard's going to fly. Undershock not going to die just yet. In fact, going to get embraced by his friendly Wyvern. Dimitri does the brain sap. Can't get in here in time, and here comes the apathy. Eclipse is at the ready, but they don't even need it. With a bolt, they'll kill off the Bane before he can nightmare himself. I'm pretty sure he was trying to do that. Here comes Hero, but it's way too late. Aspera have suddenly 5 heroes in the mid lane. No mech on the dark side, which is a little bit awkward. They're going to surge forward, no fear. That's not going to do anything.
The mech is incoming. So he has the mech. They might go for this tower now. Apathy tip is bottom though. They might still go for man on this tower. Very nice rotation from them. The smoke in mid lane and TA is setting it up so that the Scarab just comes in and uses a few spells and they get a free kill. Surprised they don't use this mech now though. I guess they wanted TA to take the stacks in at Ancient at first so she gets some extra gold before they start 5-manning.
Yeah, extra levels of meld definitely will help out. These low-ish physical damage heroes, Scarab Mage, Winter Wyvern, just makes them a little bit more relevant in the push. And you're going to be fighting, so you might as well try to get a little bit of extra lead while you still have it. I mean, yeah, you want to use the mech ideally as soon as you get it, but it's still going to be just as good in 2 or 3 minutes. Power Tread's completed now on the Templar Assassin. She probably isn't going to get, like a Blink Dagger or Desolator or something like that by the time they actually go for this push. So it seems like they don't really have any items left that are worth waiting for.
I think they're gonna take the stack and then try and go. If they can take these bottom towers and the mid tower, the Roshan is very easy for them. They have amazing Roshan potential with Luna's passive for the range heroes, and then TA just with the meld and possibly a Desolator later on. It will take the Rosh pretty fast. If they get a medallion, it's gonna go down in seconds.
Well, until that happens, still alternate with a lot of freedom to move around. They're going to use that freedom to smoke up and see the apathy. The courier is actually going to be intercepted by the Bane. He needs a lot of right clicks to get this one down, but I think he may be able to. One more. No, it's not in time. In fact, they're going to find the apathy. Eclipse is going to be used, but the shield will hold for most of it. Hero will go down, actually. Aspera now going to get the heal onto the Luna. Dimitri's on the run. Afterlife's going to come right in with the mech as well. Luna shouldn't die here. And yeah, they'll silence up the Bane and beam him down. 7-3. Great timing coming in from Arzeek, but also alternate disrespecting the Eclipse.
Yeah, they underestimated that Eclipse big time. Dimitri trying to be greedy, getting both the courier and the kill he fought, ended up being horrible. And this is the cue for Aspera. They're gonna push now, I think. They shouldn't have anything to wait for unless there's something very big incoming that I can't see. But they should be taking these towers down now. And ATN, I think, should just split push. They can't really teamfight Aspera after what just happened.
Well, there's no Eclipse on the Luna, so she is significantly weaker, nor is there a mechanism for another 30 seconds, but alternate still really don't want to be fighting this one. This is also a push without the Templar Assassin, and I may eat my words, Templar Assassin suddenly at 1600 gold. They're going to run into the Tusk, they will force him back, but no fears in an awkward position in the front lines. Will get tracked, Surge is there, Snowball's going to fly forward, but it's not really going to do that much. Shards will catch into Afterlife, but he's working with Vacuum, Mech, and Wall. Committing onto a Darkseer with all these low-range heroes is incredibly risky. The tower will be held by alternate, but for how long? Like, eventually this tower is going to drop because sooner or later Aspera are just going to group up and do the exact same thing, next time with the Eclipse at the ready, maybe even the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, they're probably going to wait for the Eclipse, but he got a lot of damage on the mid tower, almost taking it down, below half now. Should have gotten 5 more seconds, it would have been in deny range. But ATN holds the tower. It's a valuable time for them to let this AM get bigger. He is still top net worth, but Ember was second for quite some time, and now there's 3 heroes before him on the side of Aspera.
These are heroes that you also really have to respect when they get that far. And Darkseer is, sometimes he just seems like he's unkillable, and Templar Assassin looks like she's going to be going for a Desolator. They do catch Hero up on the north side, or who caught who. Lots of damage onto this Ember Spirit. Does he have a jump out? You bet he does. Off to the right side, No Fear is going to chase him down, silence up, and try to flare, but that's not going to do that much. He's going to get mech'd up. Here's the curse onto the Tusk, and he's going to drop really low. However, he will get bailed out a little bit. He still will go down in the end. Undershock, surge forward, looking for someone. It's going to be a Nightmare onto the Templar Assassin, and Hero Nisha right around the corner, but Undershock feels pretty good about this because he has a double damage rune. One shot might just kill off this bounty hunter. If it was a melded shot, maybe, but now they're on to Nisha. No more vision, however. Undershock still walking around, but yeah, this is going to be at the very least this tower conceded by the alternate side. And with some more DD on the Templar Assassin, well, it seems like they'll just back off right now.
Yeah, they would wait for the spells. Eclipse is up, but level 11 Eclipse is a lot better than the level the one you get at level 6. And meanwhile, Antmage got a top tower here, not even denied from the Darkseer, so that's very nice right there. And they traded tower and pretty much traded kills as well. I think it was a track kill they got on the Skyref, so even if it was a support for a core, the track still makes it probably in their favor actually.
And Alternate have part 1 of their Anti-Mage completed in that Battle Fury. It's not the fastest one in the world, but 15 minutes in is still really reasonable, especially when you have the power treads beforehand. The problem is that Anti-Mage still needs a little bit to really become effective, whereas for the Luna, she has Helm of the Dominator completed now. That one's also, more or less where you want that to be, but Undershock is the one who's working with the danger item. That's the Desolator, and Alternate will really struggle to deal with that, especially this Tusk who's just going to walk into a flare and die. Not a great start for him, but yeah, Desolator on the Templar Assassin, Helm of the Dominator on the Luna. Anti-Mage is still not an effective hero just yet. Alternate may struggle to hold the future pushes.
Yeah, and they're gonna smoke bottom now. I don't think they'll go Roche because Undershock is at the base. Wondering if they will pick up Medallion on either of these supports on Aspera. They aren't really natural Medallion carriers. Skyref doesn't really want Medallion, and I mean the Vyvern tends to not like it either, but I really think one of them should pick it up. It's very good for them. They can siege better. Giving that Medallion or Solar Crest to Luna or TA helps them quite a lot. And the Roche just goes down that much faster.
I think both these heroes, Skyrath and Winter Wyvern, are about equally as bad with the Medallion, so it doesn't really matter who picks it up as long as one of them does. Undershock is going to smoke into Roshan. That was a personal smoke. He'll start that one, and I don't believe that was actually spotted by Nisha. He has an Invis rune, so double Invis for the Bounty Hunter, perhaps, but everyone else is going to slide into the pit, and for Alternate, they don't really have a great Roshan fighting comp. Ember Spirit's fine because of his mobility, but there's really not much of a chance that they crash this party, especially with the Sentry up on the high ground. Shards will fly, Roshan will go down, Aegis claimed by Templar Assassin, and they take the Sigil for a little bit of extra gold. Will Alternate get any sort of tower damage? Yeah, top tier 2 taking a lot, but Ember Spirit's going to jump in, look for the chains, will miss. As they all get back to base. Undershock still looking for a fight maybe, but now with this Aegis, this push is going to commence, and it looks like it'll be on top lane. At least that's where the Scarith Mage wants to go.
Yeah, I think it's the best option to go either top or mid. I think bottom lane is not a big tower right now. You commit a lot for that tower, and it will take a long time to rotate another lane. It's kind of hard to push mid after getting a bottom tower compared to top, going mid to top or top to mid. So I think it's a better option to go for. I think top is the best one for sure. They want to deny this AM's farm, and they still have their safe lane tower. So AM rotating into enemy jungle is not that safe either. If the tower's down, they could get an aggressive ward, and he would feel pretty confident jungling there. But with all these towers up for Aspera, it's kind of scary for Exotic there.
So I don't think Alternate can actually defend up against a 5-man push. Do they just try to stall out for as much as possible and get the Anti-Mage a little bit of farm, or do they actually try to involve the Anti-Mage and try to actually look for a fight? Because it seems like right now Aspera, especially with this Desolator pick, can just plow through Alternate pretty much no questions asked, with or without the Anti-Mage.
I think Alternate should just wait for Anti-Mage key items, whether that be go with Bloods or even wait for the Manta, but more so they should wait for Ember's Battle Fury before they do anything. Not sure what Tusk is gonna go, but he could get a mech or something similar, or Bounty as well. It doesn't really matter who gets it. I think they should wait for those items, especially the Ember's Battle Fury and possibly a mech, depends if they will get it on either of those heroes. It's gonna be key for them in defending these towers, or high ground rather. I think these towers will be taken down relatively soon, and I don't think they can fight at all.
I'm sure Alternate would love to just be able to sit back and wait, but the whole point of Aspera's draft is to not let Alternate sit and wait, so how much will they lose Alternate while they're waiting for these items? Will they actually be able to farm up while they're waiting for these items? Getting a pick off on the Luna up towards top lane, which seems like it may be possible with a level 6 Bane, is going to be a big game for the Alternate side. At the very least, to delay the push by however long it takes for this Luna to get back alive. It's a level 11 hero, so her respawn timer is quite large. If they actually do find her with the grip with the brain sap. That in and of itself is going to bring Luna to like, what, a third of her HP? She has no one to teleport in. There's no tier 1 tower, so this Luna might just be dead here.
If the grip comes off, I think she's dead for sure. And that would be a big blow for Aspera. They can't really let her die at this point. Oh.
Oh man, it's classic, right?
Yeah. After 20 minutes delay and now this.
Great. Well, yeah, it is always possible for the Apathy to get an Eclipse off as soon as he sees the Bane. Maybe that's going to happen. The Bane is walking up high ground, so that if the like Luna goes to where the flag is, then sees the Bane, eclipses, and that should be enough to kill off Bane. And we already saw it mess up the Ember Spirit. It should not kill off an Anti-Mage, nowhere close. In fact, he has maxed out Spell Shield, but that'll keep Luna safe. So I think that's the play for Apathy. Obviously, I'm not really sure if he knows that this is happening, so whether or not he's going to make that play is an entirely different story. But yeah, that is a big opportunity for Alternate. Outside of that, I mean, looking at these items across the board, 1,000 gold in the Darkseer, not too bad, but it's not going to translate into anything directly. And there's a Cloak on the Winter Wyvern, so going to be a Glimmer Cape for him, leaving the Medallion maybe to the Skywrath Mage. I don't know if you want to do that, though, if you're No Fear.
I think it's too late now. They picked up Unknown instead, which is also a very good item to have. They're gonna push a lot. They might even let Darkseid pick up Solar Crest. It's not too bad on that hero. And if their plan is to end this game, they should really be looking for a Solar Crest.
It's just so cheap for what it does. Like, the armor swing is huge.
Oh no.
We're going the wrong way, guys. We have to be going. So now the Apathy, since he's not here, is probably not going to make that play that I was talking about before.
Nope.
It's going to be a little bit harder when you're, you know, not in the game.
Yep.
Go figure, right?
It's gonna be hard.
Oh man, what is it with this like EU region? Everyone being DDoSed. Like, I feel like every other region is fine. Maybe that's just like this tournament.
It's
some
more
other
betting.
tournaments.
It's more betting in the EU. That's all I think.
You guys all have betting problems.
Yeah.
Go get help.
Yeah, we're gambling addicts, all of us. And some are a bit too addicted, and this happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of frustrating for both of these teams right now, and for us as well. I think a bit at least. And like especially Aspera feeling the momentum now. And if this game continues after the pause and Luna dies, that's gonna feel horrible. Like you're gonna feel you sat and waited for 10 minutes. You had all the things you needed to go and like take every tower, and then as soon as the pause happens, you lose your core hero in the push. It's gonna really ruin their mood if that happens.
Well, Aspera seems like they are somewhat prepared for this. Not going to get delayed by too long.
She was moving to the secret shop here. I think she realized that she's way too aggressive. They don't have any wards, and this is she's completely alone. I would be very surprised if she does not TP out in time, though. It could happen that Anti-Mage managed to get Mana Void to cancel the TP out, though. That is a possibility.
She'll have to grab a TP, go into one of these like you know, corners in the trees. Hope the Anti-Mage doesn't find her with the Mana Void, because if he does, then Anti-Mage might even force out the Eclipse out of panic, and that, as I said, probably isn't going to kill him, especially with the Bane there to split the damage, and that should just about be a kill. But as you said, Apathy, well, the Panther's running to the secret shop. Maybe the human on top doesn't know what to do, but the Panther knows to get the hell out of there. You gotta trust the cat, man. Gotta trust the cat. But everyone's here, and yeah, hopefully we can get this resumed and see if the Apathy actually gets to live. If he does, probably TP towards the mid lane.
Yeah, if he's efficient, he's gonna do that. It might be like when you're in this situation and you can like you have a feeling that you're about to die. Like you feel like, okay, I don't know, I'm out of position, so you just TP home, which is very common to do. But if he's experienced and he thinks about it a bit, there's no reason to TP home. He should just TP to mid lane and go with his team to push here.
Yeah, so the long pause perhaps going to give the Luna a little bit of extra time to consider what the optimal line of play here is actually going to be. If they do teleport the Luna towards mid lane, they'll be missing the Skywrath Mage. He's still awkwardly standing on the top lane with no TP scroll in hand, but you know, honestly, even though the Skywrath Mage does have level 4 Ancient Seal, and that is a big tool, 6-second silence, they could probably just destroy this tower without it, because Alternate will be very, very unwilling to make a full commitment to it, knowing that there's a Desolator on TA, Aegis, Curse on the Wyvern, like all this bad stuff. So yeah, we'll see where the apathy wants to go. We'll see if alternate wants to defend, but other than that, it's going to resume soon. Yes, here we go.
We get
Luna, what's it going to be? No, TP.
Oh, it's
no,
cooldown.
Didn't see that one coming. She's just dead here.
Yeah. There's no way she's getting out here, I think. Skyref is gonna come in, but it's way too late. And I did not check TP. I don't know if you even can check it for hero specific. But,
I don't think you can. They're going to catch Nisha in trade, which is, I guess, something for the Aspera side, but I don't think either of us considered that she teleported up there, which seemed to have been the case. Yeah, it was on cooldown, so chances of survival there just dropped down to 0 as soon as she picked up that TP, so it is going to delay the push a little bit for the alternate side. They have now a little bit of extra time to farm. Going for Undershock. That's a pretty deep commitment. She does have the Aegis, and it will get picked off. Hero is going to grab that one, and with the Tusk here as well, maybe they're going to... Oh,
what?
Okay, tower.
Oh, what's it? Tower hit?
Yeah, it must have been.
I just assumed he was out.
Yeah, it was like all the way over here, but I think like it was still following him with the minus armor from the Desolator and the Meld. Yeah. It was enough.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe we're both drunk.
It looked really weird. It looked like he was out for sure. Like, I don't know, it was really weird actually. But that was kind of big for Aspera. They were losing the momentum there with losing the Aegis at a defensive position, and the tower is almost dead on bottom here as well. And AM getting a lot of space thanks to these kills. Thankfully, they got them right at the end.
The push is going to commence with no Aegis, but yeah, slowing down the Ember's Battle Fury. That is, one of the items that you mentioned earlier. Not necessarily as good as the Anti-Mage, perhaps, but this tower is going to be brought down really quickly. It's fortifiable, but I don't even know if that's worth it for alternate. They're going to let Nisha's position be known. There's dust. That's what happens when you just got to throw out that one track. You get punished real hard at that. And I don't know if the track's going to be doing anything but provide some vision now. Tower is going to be destroyed. Bounty down for 20 seconds. Anti-Mage's trying to go for a tower of his own. That's not going to work out. Where the rest of the Aspera heroes going to go? Seems like they're going for top lane.
Very fast fingers, so no fair there on the Skywrath. And also the Winter Wyvern reacting instantly. I think they were predicting that would happen. So they were like instantly, they just threw spells at him, so you get slowed, and they just kill him straight up. Very nicely played. But it's still okay for ATN. They can afford to lose bounty like that. It's not a big deal, it's just this minor inconvenience. And meanwhile, Ember is farming. I think he's very close to the Battle Fury now. And he's gonna get this tower for free as well, which is very nice.
He gets the tower. It's going to get him a little bit closer to those double swords. Needs the Quelling Blade as well, but that'll be coming up sooner rather than later. We have a ping towards mid, it seems like Aspera. Though they do want to push, also have to make sure that you don't give up too many towers and objectives to the enemy side while you're doing this. So a whole bunch of heroes up on top lane for Aspera, a whole bunch of heroes for bottom lane for alternate, and no one's actually going to be able to do anything. Never mind, right back into it. Okay, as this tower is going to be destroyed. Desolator plus Luna's level 2 aura. Man, this tower is... None of these towers are really safe.
Yeah, and now it's looking a lot better for A10 already. They got this bottom tower. They're gonna ward up. It's actually gonna be a defense from mid lane for Aspera.
Well, Curse is already there onto Exotic Deer. The Snowball's gonna save him for a little while longer. Arzeek dropping low, but embraces himself, and he'll be fine. TA is gonna blink after the Tusk with one more Meld Strike. Gets that kill. So far, 1-0. No Fear's looking for the Anti-Mage. Won't be able to find him, but hey, it's a 1-0 gain for Aspera. They're back in the mid lane, however, that's not really where they want to be, and they also don't want to lose No Fear here. Dimitri a little bit too slow to income, but No Fear stops moving. Okay, well, yeah, the backup is close enough, I think, and alternate know about this, so it should be Aspera just sliding down to the bottom lane, just as a 5-man squad, taking the tier 2. No high ground just yet, they really need an Aegis for that, but back to the Ember Spirit death. I was actually watching it on the stream. It was 2 tower shots that killed him off, doing about 100 each because of the Desolator minus armor.
Can't underestimate that Meld plus Deso. It's the tower is just killed here. I don't think he was expecting at all. I think he felt pretty safe. But really nice play from the Tusk actually. He saved the Anti-Mage live there. I think Anti-Mage was gonna go down. The Meld hit from Tia was gonna hit him, and then the Snowball comes in and saves him. Even though he dies, it's well worth it for sure. Like there's no questions about it. That was a nice play by him.
That's the value of a Tusk. You sometimes get your teammates out of almost impossible situations just with the ability to say, nope, you're damage immune right now, and You'll be just fine. Anti-Mage is going to start racing over in the bottom lane, though. They're going to jump in for the Tusk. Now they're just going to grab the tower, and they will go for the tower in the end, but the creep wave is being now dragged away by this Bane, so what you see is what you get for this bottom lane push. Still with 2 range creeps, yeah, it's going to be cleaned up. Backdoor protection is going to get turned off. But I don't think they can actually go for this without more creeps. Backing back onto Hero. Mystic Flare is there. They beam him to keep him in the flare, and they will kill him off. That's a big kill for Aspera, but still...
No buyback.
Oh, they have a siege creep here, and there's no buyback. Yeah, they could actually get this tower, but it's going to cost them quite a bit of HP.
Aim is going mid. He's taking this faster, actually.
Well, tier 3 is dropping in the mid lane. Tier 3 now down on the bottom lane. So far, even exchange. But with the glaives now starting to bounce, I think Luna will just be able to do this faster by herself, especially with Yellow teleporting back. That's no TA Aspera. They're going to get the Eclipse out, which is going to kill off the Bane. However, there's a Walrus Punch into the Apathy. She's still more than okay, even with the Mana Void. Now Embrace the Apathy is still going to survive for a little while longer. They're sitting in the wall, but the Apathy will go down. Now they're on to Afterlife. Surge out from the Darkseer will get cornered by the shards. Needs a blink, but it's not possible. He gets chained down and dropped. They track up the Bane illusion. Rax is held on both ends, but for Alternate to take an even structural trade, that's actually really huge. And, well, it does force out 2 buybacks from them. They do take down the Luna.
Yeah, really important that AM actually got the tower in mid. That actually gave them gold for the buybacks, so they could actually do it. So very well played by AT, and they're realizing how they can play this efficiently, and that was they were gonna lose Rax unless they bought back there. So very nice play by them.
Oh, under shock. No, don't go. Oh, well, Hero, he's gonna actually get chopped to the Templar Assassin, disrespecting the TA's damage output again. They get the track kill in response, but TA was stuck there, and now Tusk is stuck here. No, never mind. Finds himself a way out.
Yeah, that was a very weird exchange, but it's kind of even. It favors ATN a bit, I think. Just all the time they can buy, even if it costs them time, a core. Like if AM dies, it gives Ember time. If Ember dies, it gives AM time, and it's kind of okay as long as they don't lose too much during it. But Luna is getting quite far now as well with the Manta pickup. Her sieging is incredibly strong. With Manta Illusions, they also get the glaives, so when you start taking bottom racks like that, everything around you will just die.
Exotic Deer is going to take the bottom tier 2. TP is coming in from the Apathy, but they don't have enough lockdown to kill off this AM. He's going to jump right into the face of the Winter Wyvern, who's going to see him, and then land, and then promptly die. Glimmer out, maybe Exotic Deer. Yeah, he's going to get away. No track in time from this Bounty Hunter. Where the hell is this creep wave going? I have no idea where this creep wave came from, but it's a large creep wave down the bottom lane now. Aspera, they now have to worry about an Anti-Mage who has Manta Style, Vlad's Battle Fury. That's really the tipping point where Anti-Mages are going to be willing to get into those fights. I think their game plan is unchanged, though. Just, you got to go up high ground.
Yeah, Aspera is feeling the pressure now, I think. The AM is getting huge. He's 4k ahead of TA, which is the most fun on Aspera. And when he picks up his next item, it doesn't really matter what it is. He can go Basher, he can go Butterfly, he can go hard. But when he gets that, he's gonna be incredibly hard to kill. And even if Ember doesn't do the most damage, as long as they have a frontliner, which will be the AM, then that's probably gonna be hard to kill. Then Ember can spam his Sleight of Fist, and the damage will come with him and the AM. And it's gonna be very scary for Aspera, I think. I think they're really feeling pressure right now.
Aspera have to get the pick off. They have to get someone Silence of the Skywrath Mage seal. They have to use the curse from the Winter Wyvern on someone, anyone. And, you know, a good wall could certainly help, but this is not good. Apathy is going to get snowballed into by 2 heroes. Bane is here for the grip, and Luna can't get her Eclipse off in time. They get the Silence on the Bane, but now No Fear is in a bad spot. Flare's going to do a little bit of damage to this Bane, but here comes the Anti-Mage. Just a couple swipes will Mana Void him down, and Exotic Deer is going to get cursed way too late from RZ, going to Glimmer TP. They get the first hit bash and kill off the Wyvern as well. That's 3 kills down the tubes for Alternate, and Roshan is up. Undershock is stuck in the pit, is going to be able to get out most likely. You want to leave right now, Undershock. Oh, do they know that she's there? I don't think you want to be doing this either way, because Ember Spirit may come in. No, he won't.
Oh no, the sentry was placed.
Oh, yeah.
That
was silly.
They just lost 4 heroes, one at a time, and now this is gonna be an Aegis right here. Ember also got a lot of damage on top racks, or not a lot of damage, he got some tower damage, but it's quite significant that he just was able to split push and get the farm while his team was just killing everyone. And this is looking very bad for Aspera now. Luna is 2 items behind AM at this point, pretty much. And she cannot stand up to aim. This is looking really bad. Even TA can't stand up to aim at this point.
Yeah, they need some sort of miracle combo, but a miracle combo can only kill off one life. It just won't be there again for that secondary one. They're going to smoke up Aspera, even though they know Antimage has a double life, and they don't have the TA. This is, you know, just a pretty wishful move from them, hoping to run into like a random Tusk or a Bane or something like that. You know, obviously that's not going to happen. Everyone else is kind of defensively positioned, so if you're Aspera right now, do you try to shift game plans? Do you try to now out-farm alternate? Because, you know, late game, Luna and Templar Assassin, not terrible. They're going to try to go for the Ember Spirit first. He does have a jump out. He's going to need to get cursed up. Not in time, though.
Nope. Unfortunate timing there. They have to get a pick off and then push. They can't let this game go any further, I feel like. AM plus a hero like Ember is insanely strong late game. Even though we have a Luna and TA, you're getting outfarmed right now. Ember, who was so far behind for a very long time, is suddenly catching up to Luna and not that far away from TA either. And he's an amazing hero in this position. He doesn't have to do the most damage in the team, but if he has a hero in front of him and he just manages to spam his Light of Fist every 6 seconds, he does a lot of damage eventually. The heroes of Aspera will go down.
Man, look at the graphs. That is not what you want to see if you're an Aspera fan right now. Just a steep, steep dive downwards. Seems like Aspera, they're just going to go for it. Jump forward from Undershock. He doesn't have allies here, but he's still going to go for the Tusk. Force out a Snowball. Undershock's going to buff it out with the BKB. Still chasing forward with the Glimmer Cape. Tusk is going to survive. They have no True Sight, and Ember Spirit's going to land a couple of chains onto a couple of heroes. The rest of the heroes from Aspera finally coming in, but now Undershock doesn't actually have that BKB. They'll get the vacuum back onto Exotic Tier, but he's still alive. Still with the Aegis even. He will go down for his first life. Hero's going to jump right into the middle of things, kill off the Luna, and they also lose the T at the exact same time. Antimage is going to pop right back up for the chase, and they'll catch No Fear for sure. More track kills for alternate. The Darkseer, the only one to escape. Hero grabs a triple kill. I think the opening for Aspera has since closed. Like, the window is barely open at all, if you could even say it. The push is going to come right down mid, and the tier 3 has already died from previous. This should be Rax's for alternate.
Yeah, and Luna is frustrated, just drawing over map randomly right now. Ember had a double damage that fight. He was tearing people apart, even though he's almost half net worth of AM. He was doing so much that fight. That was very unfortunate for Aspera, and that BKB usage from TA was a complete waste, even though he had good intentions with it.
Undershock is taking a nap. Not a good place to do so. Now chained down and just swarmed with anti-mages. She's gonna die, and she has no buyback. She just used it. With no Templar Assassin for 70, I don't see Aspera making any sort of defense. They need, like, Exotic Deer to get cursed, and then literally the entirety of his team kills him in just, like, a couple swings, but that's just not going to happen. They will eventually get chipped down. Tracks are going to start to fly. Bane's looking for a Nightmare. He's going to sleep the Winter Wyvern, but that's just to keep him out of this push's way. And the push is going to claim 2 sets of Raxes. Bottom lane is being pushed in by the Radiant, and that's nice and everything, but there's no way for Aspera to actually capitalize on that. Now being 2 Raxes down, casualties seem like 0, and that's it.
Yeah, and the GG gets called. They had to rely on Darkseid Vacuum into Winter's Curse at the end, but there was... 18 just outplayed them. When they got that a little bit of edge, when especially those 4 deaths from Aspera was kind of unnecessary. They tried to save the Luna, was already dead, and they just lost 4 heroes with Undershock also being way too greedy. And 18 just got to the point where they needed, and after that it was looking very bad for Aspera, and they take game 1.
This is what happens when you try to, race an anti-mage. Sometimes you're going to be able to end the game, and Aspera, granted, they were pretty close with that bottom lane push, but anti-mage under no pressure, 2-0-11, didn't really have many heroes to worry about in his lane. Well, really ever, is going to lead his team to victory, and it's going to be quite a victory at that. Alternate Attacks now 1-0 up above Aspera in this best of 3. Guys, I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Kefka, and we'll be right back for Game 2 between Aspera and Alternate Attacks.